His kids think he's a star athlete, but they're still very young. You're listening to Game Points with Matthew Ross.
.19 on TSN 690. Welcome back to Game Points. I am your host, Matthew Ross. You can follow me on Twitter, TSN Matthew on Twitter.com. Lots of tweets coming in on our question this evening. Are you mad or are you relieved that the Canadiens did not sign Vincent Lecavalier? And we'll get to some of those fun tweets. Oh, I got to read this one out loud right away. This is from Didouche_83. Is he excited or relieved? None of the above. I'm excited that he will be the first player to be bought out twice in history. Oh, that's rough. All right, let us talk a little bit about the Phoenix Coyotes situation with our next guest. You can follow him on Twitter.com/Tyson Nash. He is a former NHL player of 8 seasons, currently color analyst on their broadcasts. We welcome to the program Tyson Nash. Hey, Tyson, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. I'll be better in a few hours when I find out what's going on with this Phoenix boat. I can tell you that.
Are you watching it online, the feed?
I'm trying. I might have the slowest Wi-Fi feed in the history of Canada up here in God's country in Kelowna, but I'm doing my best. I got the Twitter on hold, so I'm waiting patiently.
Well, we've been watching it here in the studio. Gary Bettman spoke for probably about 3 minutes. And he always has that look like he's doing you a favor when he's talking, kind of, half bored. He was just kind of leaning on the podium, talking about, going to dinner with people and reminding people that people would be out of work if they took the team out of Phoenix, but not mentioning that people were out of work in Atlanta. But that's another story. But anyway, the owner was very eloquent, or the prospective owner, Anthony LeBlanc, in chatting. And now, currently, Stefano, who's talking now? Is it still the lawyer, the outside counsel, Birnbaum?
Yeah, that's right. Still going on and on.
But from what we can see, a very compelling case has been made this evening so far for keeping the Coyotes there, and it does seem positive. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think the news this morning was big news with Anthony LeBlanc and Gosby and the rest of the ownership group joining forces with, I believe it's the Spectrum group there. I don't know what the name exactly, but with the arena management group that handles a lot of facilities around the world. I think that was a step in the right direction. I think this is a group that obviously with the 41 home games that the Coyotes will be playing at Glendale, then you have a management team that is part of your ownership group that's going to run the arena and fill the rest of the empty dates with circuses and concerts and such, which is going to obviously increase revenue. And I think that is hopefully what's going to put this deal over the edge and get the city of Glendale and the council to vote in favor of this deal. I don't know what they could possibly be thinking otherwise. Just the guaranteed 41 dates that the hockey team provides for this team.
Well, it's more than that, isn't it? I mean, you have Tyson. You have how many home games in preseason? 2, 3 as well, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have probably 4, preseason games. You're going to have hopefully playoff games. So 41 could easily turn into, almost 60. So it's crazy for me to imagine if I'm in their situation and just trying to cut my losses and to ease the bleeding, if you will. It's a bad situation regardless. I mean, let's face it. But this is what they're faced with, so you have to take the lesser of two evils. And when someone guarantees me 41 events, and then you bring on a management group that is very well known around the world, they've had a lot of success bringing in concerts.
Global Spectrum is the name of it.
Local Spectrum.
Global,
exactly.
yeah, Global Spectrum.
I feel very confident, with that being done. So I think, again, I would just be so surprised if this doesn't go in the Phoenix Coyotes' favor and Anthony LeBlanc does not end up getting this team.
In terms of that complex and everything around it, if you could tell listeners a little bit about it who just kind of, scoff and say it's not, it's out of the way, it's not really in Phoenix. But from what I hear from my friends and colleagues that have been down there, they say it's a great venue and also just a great surrounding area in terms of things to do.
Okay, and I tell people this all the time, and just bear with me. It's kind of a long story, but this is the deal in a nutshell. I'll try to make this quick. But people don't understand. If you look at what happened in Ottawa when they moved all the way from, downtown all the way out to where they're playing now, that's a huge distance. It took them time. They were a bad hockey club. I played in Ottawa when that building was empty. So I know what that's like. That's what's happened here in Phoenix. They went from downtown. They went where all their fan base is from North Scottsdale, from South Scottsdale, from Mesa, Chandler, all the surrounding areas right there, and then you move them as far west as possibly that you can, and now you're asking all those people to come and support this team, and not only support this team, but we were a bunch of losers back then. That's all we did was lose hockey games. I was a part of it. I played there. We lost, and nobody wants to come in Phoenix to watch a bunch of losers. They just don't. But when you have a winning product like they do now, it takes time, and you've seen this team develop a fan base out there. You can't ask the people in Mesa and Chandler and Gilbert and Scottsdale to come to every game. They're going to come to a lot of games, but they're not going to come to every game. You need to build your fan base from the city of Glendale. That's what's happening now because of the product on the ice. There's too much to do in Phoenix if you're going to lose hockey games. They're just going to go somewhere else and watch the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks. There's just too much going on. So I think everything right now is moving in the right direction. And with ownership, this team has not had ownership in 4 years. Nobody remembers that. And if you get ownership, fans, businesses, they will spend the money to support this team because they have a good product.
Chatting with Tyson Nash, color analyst for the Phoenix Coyotes games. Tyson Nash on Twitter.com. Mo, go ahead.
Tyson, obviously you mentioned the Cardinals and D-backs and Suns as the other cousins of Phoenix in the area. I know the Cardinals did request every year to play the Cowboys in Arizona. Do you think the Coyotes would request to have more weekend games to get more fans to come out to their arena in Glendale to watch them play?
Well, I think, obviously there's only so much you can do with the schedule. I think the NHL has done a real good job in helping out the Coyotes to make sure they have a lot of Saturday night games and try to limit a Tuesday night against the Columbus Blue Jackets or the Nashville Predators. So I think, I don't know what's going to happen down the road as far as the scheduling goes, but I know they have done in the past. They made a very, strong effort to help the team out to make sure Saturday nights they're packed. 6 o'clock games, lots of kids, lots of families are there. And the drive, everyone talks about the drive out to Glendale. It's not bad. When you're in the HOV lane, honestly, it's 30 minutes. So there's a lot of cities, Chicago's, the Toronto's, even Calgary nowadays, that it takes that plus more time to get downtown to watch a game. So the Coyotes are in no different situation.
All right. Well, apparently the prospective owner, Anthony LeBlanc, is back up on the podium speaking now, most likely answering questions from City Council as the presentations are done. So you're almost through. What's it like for someone like you who's been associated with this team now for a few years?
It's awful. It really is. I thought this was going to be done 4 years ago, and we're going to have some resolve. And the roller coaster just keeps on rolling. I can't believe it's been year 4, and I take my hat off to this organization, to the ownership, to the management group, Dave Tippett, Don Maloney, the leadership that they provided to keep their team focused, the players who go out there every single night and play with all these outside distractions. Hockey is a tough enough sport to play without having to worry about the business side of it. So I respect everybody involved, but for me personally, it's tough. I love my job. I love what I do. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to see this team move. My kids are all involved in the community in hockey. What it would do to minor hockey in Arizona would be detrimental. So hopefully things get resolved here tonight, first and foremost, and finally resolved tonight, so we don't have to keep worrying about this.
He is Tyson Nash. You can follow him on Twitter.com/Tyson Nash. Congratulations. I'm gonna predict it. That's what I'm gonna say. Congratulations on keeping the team. But in all seriousness, good luck with the rest of the evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. I'll be watching your Twitter feed. Keep me posted, bud.
All right, take care. That's Tyson Nash from the Phoenix Coyotes coverage out there. Of course, he's now in Kelowna for the off season, but hopefully. At the beginning of this thing 4 years ago, I wanted this team in Quebec City or somewhere else, and now as the arguments come down and it becomes more and more compelling to keep this team there, and he made some good points too about how the surrounding areas now are starting to get a little bit of reprieve in terms of having to support this team, that the local fans maybe in Glendale are starting to rally around this team as well. So interesting phenomenon now with the Coyotes, and certainly winning will help you attract fans. They didn't do it this year, but last few years they were in that postseason. Other side of the break here on Game Points with Matthew Ross. We will talk about the Tim Raines induction on the weekend, and also after that, we'll get you some inside Habs info with the fourthperiod.com's Dave Pagnotta.
I'm Tony Marinaro,